Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, we are doing speech writing, and these were the notes that I gave you. These were the tips. These were the points that you must keep in mind before writing a speech when you're writing a speech. And I gave you this document yesterday as well, and I asked you to write this document in your copies. Let's just get an overview of this before we move to our next task. Like firstly, there was the definition of the speech we discussed yesterday, and then we discussed that in speeches we have to write exactly the way we speak. Then we learned that we have to use the speech marks, these inverted commas, and then we learned that once we start the speech marks, we must end the speech marks as well. After that, we learned that how we start the speech begin with greeting your audience. We also learned that we can start with the quotation as well, but this is normally how we start, beginning with the greeting your audience, good morning, and then give your introduction that my name is this and I'm from class this, or I belong to this organization, whatever. And then the purpose of your speech means the topic of the speech that you are going to speak about. Then we learned that we can use the ing form. For example, I am speaking here in front of you, or today we will be discussing, like this. Then number 6 was that students can use fillers like like, well, literally, totally. So these are the fillers that we can use. Fillers when we because what do they fillers do? The fillers give it a realistic flavor to the speech, because again I'm telling that the speech is like it should be written like the way we speak. So when we use these fillers, it gives us the flavor of the speech. But we learn that they must be used sparingly. Do not use them excessively or unnecessarily. Then we learned that we should ask rhetorical questions that do not need to be thought about much, like I hope you understand what I mean. So the audience do not have to think a lot about answering those questions. Those should not be. So rhetorical questions, what do they do? They show that you are involving the audience into your speech. The audience is concentrating, you are having an interaction with the audience, so that gives a positive view about your speech. Then we learned that we should use exclamation marks to lay stress. For example, how can this be possible? Exclamation mark. This is totally unjust. Exclamation mark. Exclamation marks use exclamations. They may show surprise, they may show disappointment, they may show happiness, they may show sorrow. So these exclamation marks bring feelings into your speech. Then you don't forget to thank your audience. Do not end the speech without ending it properly or without thanking the audience. Then ending on a quotation is very good. Like I told you yesterday, you can include the quotation that uh, those who want to brighten their future should start working from today, or something like this, or any quotation that you think can fit in that situation. You can end it on a quotation, but make sure that the quotation you are using fits in the situation. Do not exceed the word limit, 200 to 300 words. Do not exceed that. Maybe 20 words, 15 words, or maybe 25 words, more or less, are acceptable, but do not exceed. Try not to exceed them. So this is just the overview that I told you, and then I gave you this speech to write. I'm sure most of you have done it. Submit me your work. I'm noting your names. I'm repeating again and again. You are having assessments in the next month, in the month of July, and I will be giving good weightage to these assignments that you are submitting me. If someone is not submitting the assignments, their marks will be deducted, especially for English. I will do it for English. So make sure that you submit your assignments in time. I will be giving a good weightage to these assignments. This was the speech I asked you to write. It was your final week in the school. Your teacher asked you to make a speech in the school assembly where the event from your life which you all always remember. And I also gave you the model of this speech, I mean the example of this speech, like good morning everyone as school reaches. So I asked you to read this speech and write the speech yourself. Do not copy the same speech. Write your own speech. So you must have done it. Submit me that work in the English period now, and after you must have done it before, and I'm giving you another task, which is another speech. This is again from the past paper. Since we are doing the speech, so there should be 2 to 3 speeches at least now that we should practice. And remember, don't forget to take care of those points that I have asked you to take care of. The notes मैंने भी दिए, and I'm also sending you this complete document. Whenever I send a lecture, I send the complete document for your help, so that you make notes in your copies. There's another speech recently. Your class organized and helped to run an after school activity of younger students in your school. It was very successful. The principal has asked you as one of the organizer to give a speech about it at the assembly. कोई भी आपने कोई after school activity करवाई थी for the young people, maybe some sports, maybe some charity, right? Maybe collecting some charity to help the poor, or whatever the activity was. And also again, I have included in this document the example of the same speech that you can read, take help, and write your own speech. So 2 speeches and plus uh, these 2 pages in your copies. Okay, so I'm waiting for your copies, for your work to submit, and I'm the group. If you have any questions, you can ask, and submit your work. Take a scanned picture and submit me your work. I will be checking it. That's it for now.